Hello. So I was going to do a video on this, but I figured that I would never actually get around to it. So instead of doing a video, you just get my silly bald head walking along and giving you a live stream. So I just got back, or I'm on my way back, I'm not even back yet, from a Pokemon Go Poke Walk in downtown Boston. This isn't really a strongly organized event. It's basically just a bunch of people show up and are playing Pokemon in the same spot. And when I said a bunch, what I mean is that about 75% of the people in the largest park in Boston were doing this, and it was so cool. It was so cool to watch, 12-year-olds who are playing this game be able to ask questions to the random stranger they had never met standing next to them and be able to get an answer. It was so cool to explain how lucky eggs worked or how you use a raspberry for the first time and see someone see it. It was so cool to stand in a place and be like, oh, there's a Pikachu there, and have 25 people run towards it. It was a really cool experience. I actually met a bunch of people from the Boston Pokemon Go Discord who I met, and actually I cut my stream, well, a little bit short. It was going to end anyway, so that I could hang out with them. Went out to dinner with them. It was a cool experience, there's people that I've never met before. We went out, we talked about games and Pokemon and YouTube and all kinds of stuff like that. It was a pretty cool thing. And so overall, I'm just really happy and pleased and everything else like that. Hello, Creekcraft. About how cool this experience was, to be able to go into downtown Boston, to be able to catch Pokemon with people, to be able to hang out and walk around a really pretty spot and see a bunch of different things. And then I was even live streaming for all of it, and I never got bothered. I never had anyone yell at me. I never, I did not, do so much when I was crossing the street or whatever, but I never really had any issues. And I think that that's awesome. I think that it's awesome that you can just do that. And I'm really, happy that we live in a world where that can happen. Hello, Falcon Man. So yeah, I think that it was a neat experience. I don't know if right now the biggest issue I have is I'm so freaking tired. It's 94 degrees out, which means that I was walking around for approximately 3.5-4 hours in 94 degree heat, wearing my silly hat. I went through 4 bottles of water, most of which were warm by the time I got to them because I was using the bottles of water to cool my phone, which was overheating because I was playing too much Pokemon. Turns out that an overheating phone is actually really hard to play Pokemon on because when the phone overheats, it throttles down the CPU in order to cope with it. And when you throttle down a CPU and try and play Pokemon at the same time, it does not really work. So so overall it was a cool experience. I met some cool people, saw some cool stuff. Didn't get a ton of unique Pokemon. I did get enough. I have a Nexus 5X. It was the biggest issue was that it was when I was charging it at the same time was the biggest issue. But even when I wasn't charging it at the same time, it was still having a lot of trouble. So just the YouTube gaming, live streaming, plus Pokemon Go, plus charging it, completely overheated it. The whole thing was really hot to touch. I used my water bottles as heat sinks to draw away some of the heat from my phone. But it was just overall, it was a fun thing to do. It was fun to go out there. It was fun to see people. It was fun to do all kinds of stuff like that. So it was a neat thing to see, and it was a neat thing to meet some people and see some new people. And I really enjoyed it. But at the moment, I am completely overwhelmed with heat. I'm exhausted. Someone's like, the sun's going down. It's going to get much cooler, and it's true. It is much cooler now. I'm walking home, and it's actually almost comfortable. But I'm like, you know what? By the time the sun goes down, I really just want to be curling up in bed. So I met one guy who he was amused that I work at YouTube because he runs a web crawling company that goes out there and crawls the internet, and of course, crawling YouTube videos and delivering them to clients in a nicely packaged way is actually a really hard thing to do. I guess they did put curtains up here, so people must live in this house now. So it was fun, and most of the people I met were in their kind of early 20s, so they were all talking about which classes they were taking in the fall for the most part, but not all of them, and this guy was working in a company and stuff like that, so it was just really cool. It was cool to meet people. It was cool to walk around the park and see this general status of being able to walk around and have fun, and everyone was kind of supporting each other. It was great. So anyway, that's it. I just wanted to kind of pop up a quick video. How's it going? That was kind of summarizing my experiences at that, and